All right, so welcome, guests, and this is our regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Port of Oswego Authority. This is Monday, December 8th, 2025, at approximately, what is it, 4:38, thanks. You know, turn around. So let's start it off with a call to order, and we'll start with you, Tom. It's okay.
Tom Schneider, Interim Executive Director.
Jenna LaPietra, member.
James Metcalf, Board Member.
Pat McMahon, Port Employee.
Katie Mays, board member.
Diane Zeller, member.
Connie Casamano, board member.
Fran Enright, board member, and also present.
Debbie Godden, port employee.
Kim Natoli, port employee.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, I thought we had one more here.
It was here and then.
Yeah,
That's on.
okay, so let's go on to our item number 2, which is motion 12-08-2501, and that's to approve the minutes of the November 17th, 2025 regular monthly meeting, and that's Exhibit A.
Can I ask a question? Why do we put in here who was present from the public?
Say that again. Who was?
Why do we list who was present from the public in the meeting?
I thought that was standard operating procedure, since it's a public open meeting. It's who's present. We have the tape. It's part of the process.
I thought, I say just the opposite. I've always considered it standard to capture everyone who's in attendance, but I guess if it's an open meeting, everybody could be in attendance if we, or is.
Maybe that's true.
I just don't think that it's appropriate to put in the public, name the public in here, only because then you're singling out people. It's a public meeting and anybody from the public could be here. So if this was a room of 50 people that were here, you wouldn't do that. Oh,
Interesting.
food for thought.
I hadn't thought
It
of
might
that.
have a chilling
It has a chilling effect on the public to think, right, it's,
Jenna, you never, every time you find something that,
sorry.
no, I think it's great. So, item number 2,
We should not be, right?
No.
Right.
any other questions? I'm looking for a motion.
I motion to pass the minutes with the public redacted and to in future.
Oh, second.
I would move to amend the motion to include the fact that we never do it anymore.
That's what I meant. That's
Okay,
what I said.
if we're good, okay.
List the public.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
And,
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion passes.
So we will amend the minutes to remove.
We'll
the public
amend the
from this.
minutes, remove the public who are present. Okay, 3, administrative operational report. Tom, that is all you, and Pat, you got anything you can.
Yeah, thank you. There's, not all that much to report on since we didn't do last night. Our aluminum business tends to be the same. The one exception, as described last month, the one exception is we did receive a vessel in on 11/22, and our customer elected, and then we went through the process of moving into the FTZ, or the foreign trade zone. So we now have product in the FTZ, and having gone through the process and getting it cleared before the vessel docked, was a good experience to go through for the future. There's a cracking that will have to occur that will also be a good practice for us. On the agricultural side, well, there's been maybe 58 trucks, large and small, that have dumped soybean in. Total amount of soybean probably down last year at this time.
Considerably, yeah.
Is that because they don't have the product?
It's the way the heat has been, heat, the rain,
So it's just environmental?
Yes.
Just a farming thing?
everything is cut in half
I
since
can
last year.
understand that.
So it was it was a corn season in which our farmers that work with our customer who leases the silo did not have any available for export. And again, this is, going to a customer who's exporting it, and this season on the soybean has been slow. I don't know why Zone 4 is in here. Potash is, we have a vessel coming in, Pat, do you know when the
The December 22nd or the 23rd, the vessel should be here.
So, that'll refill the two smaller domes, or one and a half of the smaller domes.
It'll fill, we have about a quarter of in Dome 3 that'll fill that one, and almost put it at half of Dome 2.
And we hope to perhaps test the boom's capability of reaching the top of Dome 4 at that time.
Yes.
That's a good idea. On the Customs and Border Patrol surveillance tower, where part of the reason we discussed this last time, but we have our law firm, the firm that represents the board, has someone conducting a title search. We have communicated back and forth with CBP on the importance of establishing clear title, because I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the site we looked at is re-owned, but I can't certify that without any abstract title, and or ask the board to authorize me to do that. And I'm pretty sure some of the access roads might hit other owned parcels. So,
Is the city involved in that at all?
not yet.
They don't have any
I've asked
say.
the mayor for a luncheon meeting. It's a good idea, and just waiting for some dates from him, on the items of discussion. But I don't know what their general knowledge is of,
Have we inquired with the state yet, or the governor, about her opinions on
of
this?
the governor's office.
In favor of this?
They're aware.
Okay. But what is, I mean, is that all we know, is that they're aware? Do they have an opinion?
Sure they do, I'm sure.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, they understand the complexity of the relationship with us and customs, and so we're still being, there's larger issues that the state's working through on their federal and state statutory. And you want me to tell the truth, they're being held hostage by dollars.
And there's a surprise.
But I don't know that they would, I'm not gonna speak for them until we get that thing, but I don't know if they would, weigh in on the lease.
Do you know, Tom, if they've ever, have they ever inquired about a tower further east toward the new plants and the else that?
I know that the agents we were with and their representative on the site indicated that they're looking at a number of different sites. They did not indicate to me any.
For one tower or
We're
several?
looking at numbers of different sites for several. That is,
I know there was a concern from someone from the city, but I won't mention
Yeah.
right here, but
yeah.
about
Everyone-
public parks, you know? There's a
Everyone
public
knows,
park.
I asked if they need to go through the SEPA process, but they don't. But there is a NEPA process that
Property,
I'm sure needs to be
warehouse out in,
gone through.
For Route 1.
Is there a reason?
Army
It's
Corps of
ours, right?
Engineers.
Does that go up? That does go up.
We don't even know if we own it
Yeah?
yet.
Okay, but
So,
assuming that we do.
The,
Man,
It's 100 acres.
our engineers, with But they would be authorizing
Move that tower.
agency.
Around?
Because it's mobile.
Yeah.
It's a mobile
it's
tower,
I bet they're gonna have more than one site and keep them.
Yeah.
For their own reasons.
How much are
whatever
they
they
gonna
want.
have?
Why
more
not
than
put it
one
in
tower?
tracks, you know? Have it move down the rail, you know?
It's particularly called within the lease, mobile, but I believe removable.
Yeah.
And is there a specific reason they don't have to do a seeker?
Yes, seekers are reserved for state entities.
Oh.
State law.
I remember we had that guy, I forget his name, but he was looking at building solar farms out, you know, on the
Yeah.
Fitzgibbon. Remember that? And I believe at the time, Bill had surveys done on all that property. I don't know if you pulled that or not,
Yep.
you take a look, took a
Yep.
look at it.
Yes, they all say purported owner, purported owner, purported owner.
Yeah,
And we can't move forward on purported owner.
no,
Can't leave something you don't own.
okay.
Midterms
Would it
pay
be,
for this.
would it cause a, I know we look at that usually say, it would be in that lot, that we're.
It would be on the other side of the tracks, that should have been specifically pointed out, but in that wooded area. So off of our field of operation that we utilize now.
Off the field of operation. And we'd have to clear trees? No,
They would,
okay, but we'd have to allow trees.
yes.
Not a good idea.
And that's an environmental issue, so there should be an environmental study.
DEC usually makes you get.
Well,
I mean, NEPA is an
NEPA will do it, that's what NEPA is.
environmental study at the national, federal law.
Okay. But I did ask a question, I mean, in the next call that happens with the state, and is the state.
Yeah, there's a monthly call that we have with representatives from the governor's office, both direct staff, DOT, budget.
Okay, and that's where this has been discussed?
Yes, as well as separately with council as part of that call.
Right, so that was what I was asking, is in the next time that there's a call to specifically discuss this,
Yeah,
is it possible that someone from the board, I'd be happy to do it if it works for me, but somebody else, I feel like having
absolutely.
air cover here would make sense, and have somebody else on the call.
We're a long way from the leaves, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't wanna get to the lease.
No.
Right, if we're at the lease, we're in trouble.
Yes. Anything else on that? I should have thrown on this agenda that we're working through a $50,000 grant achieved through legislative recommendation to DOT, specifically to do milling and paving work on the west side pier from the foot of West First Street up through the Maritime Museum. And,
Nice.
yeah, it needs it. It's within that process. So we do something other than asphalt, but concrete pad on the truck radius there. That's really the marina, Eastside, I had some conversation with Fran today. I don't know if we're gonna talk about this further.
Yeah, no, I think we should talk about it. Yeah, let's get into the marina and the report on what.
Yeah, so, Fran had a conversation with CNS engineers who sort of did a high-level report of, here are some options if we were to replace the existing gantry crane, which loads and unloads boats on the east side marina, and grain options, as well as the, some mobile, all the
It's a mobile crane track, it's a track. Looking at you've got those packets, everybody, it's in the folder there.
That's what I read.
And you can look through the different options there. There are a couple other options that we can talk about, but looking at what we have, the biggest concern that I think both, the port has is safety. I mean, it's always safety first, and at this particular point, we need to, whatever we do with that lift, it has to be where it's going to be safe for our personnel. And so moving forward, that's what we have to
So is it
discuss.
unsafe now?
Well, it
Because
is
this-
broken.
Well, I just read this and it doesn't say it's unsafe. That's what gets me. They're not saying that they're just saying, here's replacement costs. If you want to put new ones in.
I believe it, I thought it did say something.
Well, it doesn't, well, what it says is, today, several vessels regularly exceed 40 feet and often approach or surpass the lift's safe weight capacity. That's not the same as saying it's unsafe. That's what I'm asking, if it's unsafe, or what it's designed for.
Currently, and Pat, you know as well as I do, currently that would not pass any type of inspection. And there was pieces falling off of it near the end of the
No,
season.
I just don't want to be sold a bill of goods
you're
that all
right,
of a sudden
but-
we gotta spend a couple million
I-
bucks and it's working fine.
I would rather use the term that is very near the end of its useful life.
Yeah, I got you.
Very near the end of its useful life.
I got you.
And anything that we do in order to extend that useful life, in the end, it needs to be, certified safe, all those things. And I think long-term planning, we should talk about some of those options in there. And that's what we have to get through this spring and fall season coming up 2026. And hopefully we can find a solution that's affordable, and then we have to work on grants and look at what we want to do with that marina. We want to look at what our long-term plan is. What do you see? What do you envision on there? What can we afford? And what's the end game on this? And then we have to plan it. And part of that is going to would be something in that, one of those options in there, a travel lift, where you can bring in some of these larger boats, and that come, 1,700 boats come up and down that canal. And we don't get a lot of them in here because we don't have a facility in order to do it. They go elsewhere. And I would like to see, the board discuss some of these options that could capture some of that business and turn this marina more as a destination than it is an alternative.
Like those big boats that come through the canal are heading like out somewhere else, but, I mean, what would be the reason to lift a boat out of the water?
Storm, repair the
Okay.
props, a lot of these boats hit logs and stuff
Yeah.
coming down, we can't
Okay,
accommodate
do
them.
we do repairs, repairs done here?
We don't
So-
do any because we don't have the facility
Okay,
to pick them up.
so I'm just trying to understand, Fran, what.
Well, here's a couple, let's back up just a little bit, back up. One of the other things is the Canadians store their boats in the US. And the Canadians, in order to remove those boats, because they're bigger boats, they have to take them up the locks to go up to Brewerton in order to pick them up and put them inside the storage buildings there, because there's no facilities here. They'd rather store them down
But we don't
here,
have facilities here either.
not yet.
Okay, but, I mean, like, all these
I think-
reasons to put in a new boat crane to pick up boats, but there's no reason for them to get picked up right now. Like, there's not like a plan to go and build
Well,
all
we
this
got
stuff.
all the fishing fleets, right?
Oh, yeah, we got local reasons.
We got local
Okay.
reasons.
Can I say that, as this approaches the end of its useful life,
Yep.
and you look at planning in the future, you might want to consider options that allow for, lifting the larger vessels that may come through.
I
In
get it,
case,
if you're gonna
in
buy
the future,
one
you're
now.
gonna do maintenance,
Right.
but for now, the only boats we're putting in and out are the ones that have rented slips.
So, I mean, it's just my opinion, this, if you wanna do something where you're gonna upgrade it significantly, that theoretically should go, become part of a larger strategic plan to do some of these other things, not just like, well, maybe in the future we'll do something else, like, it's a very big difference in price, and we just don't have those funds.
How many of the boats in the marina are lifted with that crane? What, all?
How many boats a year come down through the canal that ask for that service?
There's quite a few who get up there.
I mean, people who show up and go to the office and say, hey,
Can you lift my boat out, but then for what?
It's just for them to do their own work. on the
Then
boat.
do their own
yeah,
work on
what
it?
they would pay for
Got
it.
it, okay, no, all right.
That's what I was, so there
that
are
I-
people asking, so that's, okay.
That's another, so that could be done,
Is that,
you could make some money off of that. in the
We
end.
lifted boats out for people
I don't
to
know.
haul them away, like winterization.
They bring their
Put
own
them up.
trailer or whatever,
We'll, Steve will winterize the boat, put on a trailer, and off they go.
off they go, okay.
And we winterize them, put them in. We do
This-
that work here.
Is there a way to poll potential storage people that would store their boats here that don't already?
You wanna know what the market is for
Yeah.
people that might wanna do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean,
Market demand studies
Well,
go beyond just polling, so I'm not
To-
sure you're polling.
Debbie, we don't have any of our grant money back in yet, do we?
not yet.
Speaking of, are there grants for this stuff? Do we know? I mean,
This is EDC stuff, right? This is all.
So I
mean, we
I
even
had a
looked at that.
conversation with
There's
Senator
one that I
Ryan.
know, it's called the Voters Infrastructure Grant, and that's the one that comes off every time you pay for that registration. A big chunk of that goes into this fund.
all right, okay.
It's a national thing, and it's specifically designed for things like this.
Okay.
And to bring in boats like with depth and for going after bathrooms, they improve the infrastructure in the marina to handle that kind of traffic. So there is money out there. They went with pumping stations. I think the last time they went with bathrooms and they put in pumping stations over on the west side pier, with the Hill Pier, when that was going on. And I think we got another one that was like $750,000, I think the port got for doing some improvements over there. Well, what you said is exactly what I'm getting at, is that if we're gonna do something, let's look at the whole big plan, and how we're gonna do it. But in the meantime, if we have to determine, this is at the end of its useful life right now. In the spring, we're gonna have to figure out how to get these boats launched and retrieve them in the fall. And there's some ideas out there, because if you read through it, a lot of these options, they're, a year and a half,
Well, I
Well,
mean,
that's the quick
I
ones.
would maybe suggest we start with what are the grants that are available out there, and then tailor what we're doing so that we can be eligible for a grant to go after
Right.
it, right? Instead of starting with buying this thing and then being like, well, where can we pay for it? And, oh, we're not eligible
No,
because
we
of X,
can't.
Y, and Z, right?
Well, that's exactly what, because I thought about having Carl Roden come in, because this is Carl made it up. But I think what we're gonna do here is take, like your question here, we'll take these questions, and then we're gonna ask Carl, because that's what he does.
Okay.
He goes
Yeah.
after all these grants.
I mean,
He knows what's available out there.
I tend to wonder, and Fran, by the way, like, I think everything that you said is a great idea. I think it would be terrific. We're clearly underutilized, and there's potentially a lot more that can be done. I think we need a plan for what we're gonna do. I think, frankly, the whole port needs like a strategic plan of the whole property to come up with some, and I threw like a not so idea out to Tom today, just for fun, but then, yeah, I mean, this is pretty important that we.
We should probably do a needs assessment on this, and we should, there are phases here.
Absolutely.
First of all, we have to address getting those votes back in the water, how we're gonna do that, and does that
Well,
incorporate?
none of these are gonna get you in for the spring anyway, these are all a year plus
Well,
out,
there's only
so.
one in there that was
Oh, the
suggested.
current, so that can't be, what we have now can't be used this season? And I'm looking at Pat, just because,
I believe we can get them in the water,
But,
that may be it.
Right, well, yay.
well, it is easier to drop something in the water
You
and
can
pull it
easily
out.
just, yeah,
Last 3-4 feet, doesn't matter.
that's right.
Let it go. Wow.
Safely. And, you know, there's options, like you know, how many of these things could be ramped on? You know, there's
I
a
mean,
lot of ideas.
that option one stationary lift looks like kind of the replacement option, so even if we didn't have a long-term plan, we can ramp up the size of it, but it's the same
It's the
footprint.
same thing,
Yeah,
same
Yeah, it
limitations.
No, understood.
Yeah.
This is the new one, this is what it would look like?
No, this is ours right now.
Right.
That's us. That's
That's why I
a
was
team.
like,
I
this
don't
looks
know,
like
we were
this is about to be
Early
condemned.
60s, I guess.
Does it come with the optional yellow tape?
Well,
Yes,
it
it
comes with a
does.
whole crate of duct tape, just in
For a
case.
price, for a price.
So basically, yes, that's our first, our,
Do we have any
So we may
idea
need to
what
rent a crane.
a lease on one of these cranes
In
would
the
be?
fall.
I don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a
There's-
cost,
Yeah.
I did a cost.
Lease
on
options, you know, you could
This is the
buy
only
it,
one I can
lease it
see that
back.
you could lease, right? This is
There's
the
a
only,
crane coming up in Portland.
all the
Yeah,
rest of
Trumbull,
these
Trumbull,
out.
yeah.
Is it Trimble or Trumbull?
Trumbull.
Yeah, to lease a crane that could lift, the largest boats that we have in the marina,
I know we need somebody who knows how to
the
do that.
first month and then the last month.
I should have brought that in with me, I did do this last time. I can get the cost for the next meeting. I had it all set up for what it would cost for a crane, but I didn't think about bringing it in, because I wasn't sure. And I can't run down the office and find it that fast. 'cause I
No,
don't
you're
know where to
good.
put it.
I mean, from what you just said, we have until like September to find it, right? So we can get them in, we just can't get them out.
And if you don't, move.
I know.
We're not obligated under our agreements to put boats in and out of the water, but
We are not obligated.
no.
so are we
That's a
planning on
charge.
having a talk with Carl when, next month, the next meeting?
We could certainly have him at the next meeting.
Okay. Cool.
But if you go back, we did have, and there's a proposal out there from Carl to do a, strategic planning process that also includes sort of a, land utilization analysis, which is the portion of it that I was most interested in. It was kind of a, it's costly, and I think we need to see what our revenue forecasts are as we move into the new year. This was a weird year between the impact on aluminum, both from tariffs and incidents, and the weather's impact on crops. Even the travel down the canal was interrupted quite a bit by some of the locks not being open for extended periods of time. So you see gas sales down if you look at the financials.
Well, hopefully whatever we
I
decide to
bring
do
that
will
proposal
increase our
back.
business.
Back in and like Carl sort of talked about
Yeah,
what they would do.
I mean, it feels to me like anything that includes a crane or marina, or a lift or marina, potentially a repair facility, anything like that would be, we would want that to go through all the rigors of any real estate development,
Yeah.
where we'd run a pro forma, we'd do a market study, we'd, figure out how to finance it over time.
All the above.
Yeah, this was
But I think
just,
it's time we do it.
this was just
Mhm.
a high level,
I don't disagree with you.
Oh, yeah,
quick
Absolutely. supported.
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean,
it's got-
I think a strategic plan is money well spent for the whole, use of the port overall.
Well, I have I'm fortunate where we live, I'm surrounded by marinas. And of all different, from the highest end Hinckley Boatyard, which is, their little lunch boat is, $2 million. And, Tiger Woods puts his boat over there and all this other thing, over to the local marinas. And, which, they're just a local fisherman, and they store their boats, they have racking systems and travel lifts, and they have day use stuff, going on there. And, it's pretty interesting, because I see it all the time. And so when I come back here, I have that vision, but of course, I know this isn't Florida. And, but we do have a lot of clientele. There's a lot of boats out there, a lot of people that I'm sure they'd want to get their 20-foot boat out of their garage so they can put the minivan in. And if we come, and that's part of our strategic planning is what could we come up with, or what stages are, and for the market, and where the price break point is. I think we're going to be surprised that that this could be a very lucrative marina that much more than what it is now. And if it goes that way, we would have more employees, and I think a bustling marina right at the heart of, right on Block 8, where all the action is. So.
Is it possible that you could do like a public hearing to discuss, the viability and the usage, how many people would find value in us adding?
Well, that's why you do your study. I think that's what we're talking about, is doing, I don't know about a public hearing, but definitely do a feasibility
The
study.
reason that I say that is because the fastest way to get some sense of what people who have boats would use and find useful is to ask them directly.
Would most of the people that, well, a good share of the people that would store their boats that don't now, are they from Oswego or surrounding
They're all
areas?
over, surrounding, they're all over. I mean, this is a boating.
We're guessing
area.
right now at all of this. I mean, Fran has some sense of this because he's out in this community, right? I mean, for sure, but when you do a study like this, you would look at where are all the other marinas, where are all the other boat storage facilities in, say, a 25-mile or 30-mile radius, whatever the right, I don't know what the radius is.
You have to do one or two things.
You would go through and you would see, what is their availability? Do they have availability? What is the cost to get there? Where are those boats
They
coming
have a
from?
waiting list.
Things like that, right, so you can see what the market is for it. Because if someone has their boat in their garage right now, I'm pretty sure they could go find another facility around here. They might have their boat in their garage because they don't want to drive that far, or because they don't want to pay for it. Having your boat in your garage over your minivan, and I can tell you that my husband would definitely kick my car out of the garage to put his boat in any day of the week. Not because there's no other facility, but because it's free. It's free. Right.
Well, even if we don't do any of this, I really think it's time that we do take a look at the feasibility of what this marina could be.
Yeah.
And
Well, we were talking about that a few years ago, and then just,
I was talking about this the first time I walked on board, is what, that this has a lot more potential. And this may be an opportunity, to start down a path, and where do we want to go? What do we want to see this as? That's all. I mean, if we want to see it stay just like it is, fine. But at least we looked at it. We looked at all the different, what the possibilities are, and we go from there. I just don't want to just go ahead and just, hodgepodgely do this and, get that done, and then, okay, that was $1 million, and then, next year it's something else, and we got to back, I just don't want to do that. I'd love to have a vision in place.
Right, but we have to have, the vision has to be tempered by which makes more. the
Right.
business of the port or the marina.
Yes.
And if we're gonna spend millions on a marina, when we should be putting it into a different place, that has to be looked at too.
Oh, yeah,
And so that would be, it
All has
wouldn't be
to be
just a
driven by its
marina
highest
plan, it would be an
listings.
overall plan.
it's an over,
Yeah.
absolutely.
As long as we do it that way.
Right, and then
Yeah, absolutely.
if we happen to get the means and we can continue on with here, at least we're not going backwards.
Well, the problem isn't that we're going backwards, the problem is that we're always settled into the status quo, so we're not moving forward at all.
Well, primary concern is safety right now. For everybody
Absolutely.
is safety. And whatever we decide, what we're gonna do,
So are we gonna have Carla in the next meeting and make some, we should all be thinking about how we wanna develop our,
I will push back out to the board and don't consider it the only direction, but I'll push back out to CNS's proposal on strategic planning. I would like the special, there's a woman out there who's specialized in port and, let's say, waterside property in looking at property usefulness and optimization. You know, we have some properties right now that we have that, there's a house on one, there's acres behind it, there's the Novellis's wellness center. There's this RV park up here. She said, boy, I think you're better off locating that and having a land developer come in and doing some condos on a certain location that we were looking at. And that's where you really need someone to, come in and look at your assets.
That's my crazy idea, and I did say a 99-year ground lease, they're not selling any property.
But
Yeah, sales are always, absolutely.
Yeah, but a ground lease would be good for two people.
Well, and I think with,
It has to renew forever.
the
Oh,
microchip.
yeah, no, I
think
think
that's
that's
gonna bring a
just-
lot of
just make sure that we have
big
that,
money, people really.
that plan out.
Yeah.
So we need
So,
to know.
can I just ask that plan, I haven't read it in a while, but it felt to me
Those
like,
contractors will like those.
I'll just reread it before I say.
I know, I'm the same way.
It's an engineer doing the strategic plan.
But that doesn't bother me, because that, oftentimes they do strategic plans, especially if they're looking at, they're working with developers, they have the insight into it. I mean, the only other group that I can think of that would do a strategic plan for you would be like, a C.B. Richard Ellis or Jones Lang Sal or some of those big firms.
Yeah, we had the
that-
DLR group came in.
What?
We had the DLR group come in, they did a big, when we were looking at Performing Arts Center. And they did a very thorough plan on that, So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what this may get into.
But, I mean, it could easily take a year, if not more, take 18 months to 2 years to do a strategic plan.
easily.
Right,
I mean, it's a really long haul.
I know.
Yeah. And there would be all the public listening sessions, and things
Right.
like that involved with it.
Yeah, so it seems like we kind of need to be multitasking here and doing the strategic plan and doing some rent development options and a number of other things simultaneously so that we have choices to make when the time is there, instead of going through one process and then waiting another year or two for the next process. And, so it really kind of has to be multilateral at this point, because we should have done this a long time ago.
Pat, did you by chance, check with Bert if it's,
It's interesting, they have that, 2030 vision plan, but the 2030 vision plan
I've seen a lot of.
Bert,
Isn't that,
Rich Bird on it?
it's not a strategic plan done by.
I know he has to let Ted gone out there and really start to pick his brain,
as a backup plan in
Yes,
case.
okay.
And even temporarily, if we're in the midst of planning,
Mhm.
I mean, it could be I don't know.
By the way, boats are mobile, like they can go figure out how to get out of the water. I mean, my husband misses the lift every year, and he has to go somewhere else.
Well, this is true, if they really wanna be here, but we don't wanna lose
Well,
them.
that's,
No, but
that's,
they're
that's
coming
one of the
back.
problems, is they might not come back, they might say, well, I'm just gonna stay at, Port Ontario, and run my service out of there because I don't wanna do this every year. Maybe
Mhm.
that's, I can see that might be a small issue.
So, like,
But yeah, all things to look for, sure.
Well, could I ask you, we sent this out earlier, but could you resend out what we talked about with Carl? I know I have it somewhere, but or is it in
I
our?
wrote down that I will resend it out.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. So that would be helpful.
Yeah, I have to look at it again myself. It's sort of extensive. But
I wonder if
there are
there's actually
different
even money out there
components.
even to have a strategic plan done.
Oh, correct.
It could be.
Yeah,
And I know it wasn't cheap, it was like 50 grand in order
I
to
think,
do
I
it.
think it was more than that, wasn't it?
For the Performing Arts Center, it was 50
Oh.
grand.
These grant processes are
They're,
fairly cumbersome, and I'd like us to show progress on some of the existing ones that have not been closed out, because at some point you hit the wall where you're not going to get consideration on the next one.
Where's the
if you
new
have been
project?
closing out one.
So on this particular subject though, I think we're good, right? We're gonna look
I
at
think we're good.
we're gonna look
That
at
is-
Carl's
that's
old
not- yeah, that's-
Oh, no.
proposal on a strategic plan.
Okay, this is the
Put
one.
it back on
Okay,
next
So
okay.
we'll look at that, but in the
Show you
meantime,
another piece of-
for the quick fix, you know, bringing in a mobile crane or looking at a ramp launch, whatever we're gonna do, we'll get them in the water. You know, we'll get at least the fishing boats in.
There you go, okay.
Sailboats, that may be something, everybody goes in at one time to bring a mobile crane in here, pick them up, put them in, and that's it, we're done. Pay for half a day and we can launch the rest of them. But we need as a group, I think, you know, as far as our planning and developing, take a hard look at this and see where we wanna go. Look at the economics and what we wanna make out of this and the reasonings behind why everybody, you know, just like Tom said, half the year that canal's closed. People don't wanna get stuck up there. They wanna come down and enjoy this and travel the lakes, go to Canada, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So I think we're situated in a good spot, so let's work
Let's
on
stop the
that.
storage, because we're right outside the locks, right?
3 to 5 years, it'd be nice to have a very beautiful marina sitting out there, and that's all.
The other question I would have is, the economy is not doing particularly grand at the moment, and if it keeps on a downward trajectory, which it very well could, how would the economy at large impact
You
the
know,
necessity of what we're doing?
all
We
I
have
can
to
tell you, we
consider
had
that.
COVID, and during the COVID year, you couldn't even buy an outboard motor, they were sold out. The biggest, the people who were thriving were the bars and the boating industries were, you couldn't buy a slip, you couldn't get anywhere, everybody was out there R&R and the boating and stuff, and yet we were right in the heart of COVID, and people were losing jobs. That'd be part of that feasibility study, you know, that's what they do. They look at that kind of stuff. They can see the trends during certain parts of the year when things like that happen. That's why it's smart to have that study done, and then we can decide which way we want to go.
Market demand study would either be an objective as part of a strategic plan, or it would be one of the action steps under an objective within the strategic plan.
Can I just ask, even under, you know, you pick any one of these scenarios, I mean, all of these are in the multi-million dollars. I mean, what would be the idea of how we would pay for this?
A lot of it would have to be through Albany and put a grant. You know, let's get in
Okay,
Albany
so-
and get a line on
It's
it.
bonded, you know,
in an
Well,
environment,
I
make
mean-
payments.
So there's no idea here that we would just finance this ourselves or anything like that?
That would be bonding, but, you know, if you're gonna bond something, you've gotta show forward.
Right,
cash
I mean,
flow.
that's what I was gonna say, like, we would
That
probably have to
covers
significantly
your
charge
debt service.
the amount that you're charging people to use this.
Well, that's gonna be, that's what that feasibility study is gonna show, and then, yeah, I mean,
And then it won't
All
matter
the above.
because if the price is too high, they're gonna go someplace else
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that, okay, so there's a lot of work to do. This is not a
This
quick,
was just an overview point of discussion that, was put together.
I mean, it comes down to, if we're gonna get a lift, we gotta get a lift. Somewhere or another, we gotta have a way of getting our boats in and out. So this may be an opportunity to look at it all and say, okay, if that's the case, what are we gonna do here? Do we wanna just get this, or do we wanna have, if that's our vision plan and that fits in, then okay. But if we can do this here, and that could be into a multi, faceted marina with a lot of different amenities and stuff, then, yeah, okay, let's, if we can afford it, we can do it, but then, let's go down this path. But I think we need to look at it. One way or another, we're gonna have to figure out the lift thing. All right.
First
I
problem
think-
is out.
But we just,
Yeah, you got any more, and then I can.
Very
Well, she let go.
very quickly, just Fish and Wildlife for the Geological Services lease at 17 Lake Street after continuing resolution. When GSA came back off of a furlough, they asked if they could do just a 3-month extension. And under the same terms and conditions as existed before, while they continue to go through the request for lease proposal process. So I did not come to a authorization for that, we just did it because we were at the end of the lease termination date. And
Well, we don't want to
they're
lose
not,
them.
they're not going anywhere.
No.
They're not going out of structure.
are there any other leases coming up
Mhm.
anytime soon that we should be doing, giving a
Yeah,
head start on?
I think what I need to do is shift focus to the property management side and get a list of all of our tenants, what the leases are, what their terms are,
That would
when
be
the
great.
renewals are, how long the period would be to, for any action prior to expiration.
Yeah, and the price per square
And what
foot
the
that
price per square
we're
foot, yep.
getting, yeah.
Yep. I'll have that report for next month.
Oh, that would be
Great.
awesome, thank you.
Pretty simple, I said, done it.
Just feels weird that we're like, and this is not us, I mean, I know this is the GSA, they're slower than anything, but,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, they haven't even discussed with me pricing, they're more worried about getting a drawing of it. The building they've been in since.
right.
So other than that, there is an item in the, that's accompanying the report on the marina crane. That is just the Gantt chart is really the third page, but it's not readable. So I just took the first 2 pages, and this was sent out to Mr. John Owen, who's head of our project out of Chicago, for the EDA grant for which we've had issued since 2023. And we're going to have another meeting with CNS tomorrow to revise the schedule because there's an end date out there in which it has to be done or an extension needs to be requested. Do you not have this in here?
Did I, oh.
In the inside,
Sorry,
in the
inside,
flat.
there it is.
So the first 2 pages are just,
Plagiarized.
are just all of the,
Where is it?
actions
It's
in
in
there.
the
front cover.
pocket.
Pocket part.
If you looked at the third page, you'd see the Gantt chart, but you wouldn't be able to read it. So,
Holy moly.
just the
Yeah,
Excel sheet,
you are
you just
correct.
cut it down to something that's almost legible. And you can see the last column is just the beginning of the Gantt chart. But there was some,
It's just
there was some conversations.
So minus
This
one
is-
front.
This is
Yeah.
an EDA grant that was from 2023, that was combined with a New York State DOT PFRAP grant that was put together in order to do two kinds of distinct but related projects. One is a conveyor to unload grain from the silo into a vessel, and the other is some track extension both past the silo and up on the Upper Fitzgibbons property to allow for more trains to and to be stored and to handle, because there's a limitation on what CSX will deliver to us based upon the size of the yard. And those trains can get backed up. That limitation, when the merge kicks in, this is a virtual monopoly that you're working with. And they act on that. As a later report on CSX, conference, and looking at the FEMA projects. That's also update on we had a meeting today on the 2024 PIEP grant with Morad, but again, that's on the side, the other half of that funding is still unsolved. Questions, or like Pat to proceed and move on?
Back?
Well, you guys may have seen the still watches over at the marina.
I did. Okay, this is
You want it, it's yours.
no, I don't want it. I'd hope it's somebody else
Well,
wanted
we're,
it.
we're still working on that.
So there is some interest.
Yeah,
So,
there's
anchor.
interest out there, but nothing rock solid yet. A lot of people want it, but nobody wants it.
A lot of people want it without any liability from it or something, you know?
Yeah, went out there into the public social media spectrum, was not originated by us, nor did we agree with the language that we use. But that's social media.
Who put it out there?
An association that we believe was informed by the gentleman we were working with previously as part of the process to see if we could repair it.
I was gonna see what, it's on social media. What's the
It's not-
association?
What?
No, it's not right on social media.
Is that?
No, yeah, so who put it out on social media?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Nobody
know.
knows.
So I don't want to say somebody's name when I don't know who did it. I know it was an association, I don't even know what the association was.
Jeff found it on,
Jeff found it on Facebook, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's out there.
yeah.
But there's no name associated with it, other than the association's name. I don't think you can remember
So
that.
we don't, I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know the
Association's
association.
name.
I can't remember either.
Okay,
But it wasn't.
I'll find it.
There was a- there was a-
wasn't us, wasn't
There was a
us.
credit on the photo, that who took the photo, but that was it. That's the only name I saw, who took the photo.
I can't search Facebook on my phone. Not on my phone.
I'll look for it before we leave.
I looked,
Okay.
I tried to find where it came from too, I don't know, I thought it was,
See what the crane numbers.
Yes, I've already got the
Same
crane,
file.
the crane numbers are already getting calculated as we speak right now, so I'll have that for next month. The final thing is, you guys probably seen it on Facebook, or maybe heard it on the news, that we had a engine derailment, CSX up by Fitzgibbons. That was due to weather. The track froze, the switch froze, and it's hard to believe that the engine kind of fell off the track.
wow.
How they getting, how
I
are they
don't-
addressing this?
I don't know the exact cause.
Correct.
How is it being addressed?
It's back on the track. We have to to do some repairs to the track.
So there are two components. There's the cost of writing the engine and getting it back, which,
This is no fault.
very expensive, and
I was gonna say, when I drive my car on the road, I gotta pay for it.
Exactly, who's paying for it?
Absorb, and then there's the cost of our
Because they're
track
their
repair,
vehicle.
and I'm waiting on some numbers for that to get to John. Let's get those.
Is there insurance involved in this?
Yes, I was talking to John today, and we're just waiting for an estimate from the company that does the rail. Company by the name of Tartaglia, they're very good.
Who owns the engine?
CSX.
So when I drive my car, which has an engine in it off the road, who do I pay for it?
Mm-hmm. You do.
Okay, the people who own the road don't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they own the road too, technically?
Well, the question is the switch, right?
We own the tracks.
What potentially caused it?
Oh, good, we own the
So we're
tracks.
not
So
100%
next time I go
sure.
out the road, I'll
No,
get.
they just put it
the
under
city pays for it.
Mother Nature, but we own the tracks.
Try that, let me see how many questions.
I wanna see if we get rails there, okay?
Wow. All right.
We always seem to
Probably
end
are.
up on the
More
wrong
to be
side.
continued in
track.
January.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that goes
That's
wrong.
it for me, that's it.
That it?
Have a wonderful day.
So,
Thanks for that information.
thank you. And we're at the financial reports, and item 4, primary and subsidiary.
Is it cold in here? Is it just cold here?
I
I'll
can
tell you, but
We haven't even gone through the whole month, so.
Answer question.
Right, yeah, well, there's not much change.
just
Not much, not much change. The general trend is that the revenue's a little higher than the prior period. The expenses are higher than that higher revenue, which is really it's a me problem. I have to figure out where that is, what components of it are. Labor, I know some of it is just repairs, maintenance, and supplies that are long overdue, particularly on equipment. But, it's just within personnel, and if you bring in both the other component of the ILA pension into that line item, that comprises, approximately 50% of that total personal cost. I'm talking to Debbie about having that as a breakout going forward between the two. Because we really have to, work, understand between what are our fixed costs, because fixed costs can always change, and then what are our variable costs. And so the variable costs related to the revenue, that's can be very challenging. Because we're getting paid on quantity, but we're paying on hours. We didn't start the margins we should be at, we're not at the margins we should be at, and those margins don't absorb all of our costs.
So, do you have any sense of what revenue we are doing without, without us?
Well,
Shut down right now?
the,
Is there any,
Yeah.
is there an impact, and then
yeah,
what do you in the order of magnitude?
I would say that on the lack of vessel, which is really as much tariff as it is, shutdown, temporary shutdown, it's probably in the area of 350 to 400,000. However, we're doing significantly more direct business with, Wells itself, and we're really serving at this point as their secondary yard, and we were getting prepped to help feed the process of the restart, and then that's been set back. Right now, we continue to receive product of the recycled nature here from them, and we have a lot of prime aluminum that's gone out to others because it wasn't being purchased. It was highly valued because it was already domestic. When that vessel comes in with 2,600 pieces or whatever, that's $6 million. That's a tariff of $3 million. Somebody's gonna have to pay that cost someday. So right now, all that's just being eaten up in dwindling down domestic supply, which is going to have to be replenished. And if it's replenished at its current tariff rates with Canada. That's going to show itself up in this can of Coke and much more in your vehicles. Because Novell supplies the aluminum for about 35 to 40% of the domestic market. So there's an offset there, and it's hard to know what that is.
Yeah.
Because if the normal operation was going on, we'd be receiving a lot of,
It would be different businesses, what you're saying.
we'd be receiving a lot of rail from the facility in Kentucky that would get stored here temporarily and shipped out. And if that hit a certain volume of tipping point, which the pricing model is based on, that's where the margin existed. And instead, that started off slow, and right when it was about to pick up steam, it was diverted to another plant temporarily.
So can I just bring up the conversation that we had today about the bonded warehouse?
Yeah.
Because it feels like we're also in a moment now where, as you say, we're gonna run out of domestic at some point, and then we're gonna need to, like, suck it up and pay the tariff, have the tariff taken into effect from Canada. So Tom was nice enough today to spend some time with me, showing me around the entire port. And it sounds to me, and you just jump in anywhere here that I get it wrong, that the reason this bonded warehouse, which is the warehousing where the stock comes in, and then at today's rate, and then potentially then whenever it goes out at the prevailing tariff rate, whatever that is. So right now, it's quite high, but if we had a bonded warehouse, it would go out at the prevailing rate. Today, we only have in-out same free trade,
You have the foreign trade zone.
Foreign trade zone.
Yeah,
which
point trade zone.
It's a product goes out at the tariff rate in effect
That
at
it
the
came
time it came in. A bonded warehouse, it goes out at the prevailing rate, as you indicated, that exists at the time it goes out. And that's a big difference if you're speculating that that rate is going to go down in the future. I was happy that we were able to receive some product into the FTZ. All that really does is defer that tariff until further down the road. But when you start thinking about the amount of it, it can add up in terms of a company's cash flow. On the bonded warehouse side, it's more of, hey, we're going to speculate that rates are going to go down in the future, and I feel that a lot of demand went out and made the inquiry, was informed through customs, which was different than our customs broker, that our whole site is designated as an FTZ, our whole site on this side, from the gate to that gate, all the way up to the end of Fitzgibbons and 10th and a half Street, that all of that is designated as an FTZ, and you can't put a bonded warehouse in an FTZ. The only activated portion and boundary we have is the 55,000 square foot warehouse. There is a way then where we could redefine what our FTZ is in terms of its boundary map, and then define, then put a bonded warehouse somewhere outside of that, or outside of property that's on this east side, such as like the West Pier.
Can we grab that picture? Because the only reason like I'm beating this dead horse is because
The smaller ones?
you've got the two warehouses on that one photograph, so, and I just wanna make sure that I have this right. So the overall site for the FTZ, these overall boundaries, which Tom has said to me, like, depends on who you ask where the boundaries actually are. Only 1/2 of this building, this warehouse, is actually the FTZ. That is the only place that you can actually warehouse anything. You can't warehouse it in other parts of the site, even though theoretically the whole site is this FTZ.
It's the north
It's
warehouse.
only that warehouse.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if it's only that warehouse, why don't we put a little money and effort into, getting a real solid answer on where this FTC is and what the rules are for where we could have a bonded warehouse. This building, the other half of this building, could potentially be a bonded warehouse. You don't have to build anything. And that could be quite beneficial right now, because why wouldn't you put stuff in the bonded warehouse as opposed to bringing it to an FTZ? Because, yes, maybe the tariffs aren't gonna go down, but you have a better shot putting it here
I'm
than putting it
going,
there.
I'm going to,
Sorry.
I'm making copies.
Oh.
I didn't
well,
want to hold,
actually,
I didn't
no,
want to hold
because-
up your conversation.
No, I actually feel like this is fine. So,
Give me-
and actually, it would be a piece here, because then you can tell me if I'm wrong. So half of this is, I think it's this one, that's the bonded warehouse, the
North
the
end.
north end, right?
Right.
Is
That's the
bonded-
FTZ.
That's
It's the
FTZ.
activated
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
FTZ
the
is
activated
terminology.
FTZ, right.
Yes.
So the south end, we have a warehouse here that's theoretically not in it,
Right.
that we could maybe convert to about, like, we should get some answers is what I'm suggesting.
So he did speak with
Is
them,
there-
and the
I don't know if
terminology
there's any
for
Who
the
do we have to talk
rules
to?
that are
Well, Tom told me it
involved in that.
depends on what day you ask this guy, is what you hear an answer from, and I feel like if we got a real answer,
Like in
Yes.
from
writing.
somebody in writing, and maybe not from him.
It's support directors.
Yes,
But-
the board directors.
So Tom, my thought was, was potentially we could, I don't know what the process is to create a bonded warehouse, and by the way, I also know that we come up with all these ideas, and we're like,
No.
Tom, go figure this out.
No, I actually started the process because the demand seems so high and it
This
really
feels like
seemed.
you got nothing to lose to make this piece the bonded warehouse. The south building.
Yeah, my idea was actually to, split up the north warehouse, but yeah.
I mean,
The problem is can a bonded warehouse exist within an FTZ zone, so the red lined area is, and it's right in the
But it wouldn't.
approval letter.
It,
If
It
you look
is.
at this red lined area here, all of that is considered an FTZ.
Really?
This portion is considered the activated.
only the warehouse is the activated,
Oh.
so that's
So
what I'm
you'd
saying,
have to
could
do a
we,
boundary modification here.
or could we change the boundary? I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
who set the original boundary?
and was there any benefit? I mean, I asked Tom and he said he doesn't know what the benefit would have been to,
It
I
said
can-
warehouse is
Who
usually
did
less
set
than
it?
half
Was
full.
it the describer do it?
Yeah, I can speak to what the
Oh.
benefit, why it was
okay.
done the way it was, in conversations with, the people involved with setting it, that we worked with to set it up, was if you want to expand it, then all you have to do is activate another space, if it's already within the boundaries.
okay,
So that meant we could use more of it,
okay,
quickly and easily.
got it.
Versus if you have to do a boundary modification, that requires work and time.
Got it.
So anywhere in this area, we could say, we'd put this out there.
For
No,
FTZ,
no, yeah, not for bonded, is what she's
Okay.
saying.
not for boundary.
Yeah.
I started down the road of it, got into conflicting viewpoints from customs and our advisor, customs broker, relative to can a bonded warehouse sit within an FTZ zone? And then all those calls and all that demand sort of dissipated. People were talking about sending bonded trucks, and it could kick back up again, but the sense was, a clear sense at that time horizon, which would say would have been the summer, was that, hey, this is a temporary 50% tariff on steel and aluminum that will go down in the future relative to Canada. And instead, it got entrenched. And look, if you really went over and looked at the Midwest and particularly the automotive industry, these parts are passing back and forth across the border with constant. We shouldn't be in a trade war with Canada.
Could we, whoever it is, could we get
Yes.
something in writing that says exactly what would have to happen to do this? And look, I don't know know if it's even a good idea, but if it's not a lot of work and not a lot of money, I think maybe we could even designate a warehouse that we already have.
Yeah, you know, we could
Is
also.
there anything on the west side that we
That's,
can
it seems like we have the west side, the only, you know, building that we have is, the wellness center, but off of, outside of that boundary, you have the space right next to Border Patrol, which is an RV park. You have the end of the west pier. And then you have this area on Route 1A, that we own, how many acres?
I think there's 100 acres.
Well, what kind of product could you store?
This is only about the
Aluminum?
aluminum business that.
So you don't have to
The
have a
potash.
covered structure, but it would be
You need security, and security that becomes sort of.
Am I still on the board?
Your area.
Oh, I don't want to get my coat.
Well, I see it.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like, what did I get volunteered for?
Everything.
You know, that, where us
Still a lot
guys
of work to
are,
do.
you know, a lot of things kind of, you know, lean towards do it here.
So if we had a bonded warehouse,
I don't know what our demand is.
This is the line area which we have the warehouse.
Yeah,
so
or our
that's where we have-
utilization.
Right, and we have that extra
It
zone
seemed
where we can
as
also
though
turn
it
things
was
off.
a passing moment and no one believes in it, but I don't know what the near term is anymore. We've gotten into such quarter to quarter thinking that no one wants to.
But it doesn't have to, I mean, even if the tariffs don't change at all, right? I mean, and the bonded warehouse would only in theory be good for that moment also. I mean, that's so,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, you could still put things in, put product in there, and then it comes out at the same, whatever the prevailing rate is that day, which
Yeah.
is,
No, I agree.
I mean-
You know, that's why I started walking down the road, and I'm happy to travel back down it and try to nail down that answer. I hesitate to elevate with our, above our governor's officer, because he's been very good to us and worked very well with us, and we want to maintain a very strong positive relationship.
all right.
So,
Something
So
else
we're
on
in the
our
financial
to-do list.
report, primary.
Is it longer than that?
yeah, that's if anybody has any questions, otherwise we can go through it more comprehensively. That's at the next meeting. We will be have the time, but I want to give everybody the time at the end to be able to do that business.
Okay, if we're gonna have to, and four will be a motion, then it'll be 1208, 2502, and that's to accept November's primary and subsidiary financial reports.
I'll move it.
Second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes.
Well, for the record, I'm going to abstain because I missed most of that conversation. I just don't think that's appropriate.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Okay, so,
It wouldn't matter, you have a quorum and you have a majority of the
Correct.
quorum, so.
Yeah, we're good.
yeah, that's why I just made sure I counted.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was thinking real almost saying,
You were hoping you didn't have to tell me on everything, you know. I did.
that's all right. All right, I have nothing for right now for the chairman's report on 5. And, Connie, for committee report, do you have anything?
Let's see. After, there actually are committee met, some of the executive committee met, and Jen is officially with us for the long run.
There were inquiries made relative to residency requirements that we spoke to.
President?
Albany, you didn't really read into anything.
No, not really.
No, not really.
And so, but that should So you all know that there's no question that it will affect our forum. And I did speak with the senator, Senator Ryan, and we spoke at length Thursday, and he is gonna work to hopefully get our appointments moved up to the state legislature.
Well, and saying, because in January, I'll probably be gone the first week of January. So if I'm not here and I can't vote through Zoom,
Right.
and Jenna wasn't officially on the board, then we'd be stuck.
Yep.
So don't miss a meeting until we get our appointment.
You're leaving the first week in January?
That's the plan right now. It's all weather driven. I mean,
How
I'm
long are you
looking
gonna be
for,
gone?
probably 4 to 5 months.
Yep.
So, old business, item 7, I don't see any old business here. New business? All right, motion, 1208-2503, this is move the executive session discussion of personnel issues.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's, the executive session. Executive session?
So moved.
Second.
From regular session.
Oh, regular.
From the regular session.
Yeah.
That's what I said, regular session. Anyone opposed?
Time for you to do a
No
walkthrough.
opposition.
You're
Motion
gonna-
passes.
I've got some
Thanks.
questions in there. I wanna see that.